Hey, Attack the Rack fans, welcome to episode 36 of the Attack the Rack podcast. Today starts a new era in the podcast. We now have added a co-host, so we will introduce him right away. And today we're going to talk a lot about the NBA Finals, which now has concluded. The Denver Nuggets won in 5 games. We recorded the podcast before the game was played. So let's see if our predictions were correct. Dale, roll the intro.
Welcome to the Attack the Rack podcast. I am your host, Kurt Van Hecken, and you are tuning in to the number 1 rated podcast on the planet based on the people that rated it number 1. The Attack the Rack podcast is brought to you by Get to 2 Media.
Hey guys, we got a great sponsor of the program today. I am extremely honored and humbled to have such giant products reaching out to me to sponsor the program. Guys, today the sponsor of the program is the sun. The sun provides light, heat, and beauty. If you are looking for any of those things, you need the sun. All right, guys, welcome to the Attack the Rack podcast. First, let's start out with a big announcement. We got to welcome Mr. Ryan Klinger to the Get to 2 Media family. He's going to be a co-host here on the Attack the Rack podcast. He's also going to do some help with some filming and some editing, and he's going to help us build the Get to 2 Media website. So stay tuned for that. Ryan, again, welcome to the Get to 2 Media family.
Kurt, happy to be here, man. It's going to be fun. A fun adventure. I've got a lot to learn, I'm sure. I'm sure you'll be able to teach me some things that you've learned over the last year or so and your journey into the YouTube marketing, podcasts,
media.
All that.
All that. Let me use a coaching cliche, Ryan. I'm probably going to learn just as much from you as you learn from me.
Yeah, that's probably more. That's more than outside coaching. I think we all can take those words to whatever profession we're in, and we can share that type of stuff. So
and actually, that's a classic line from Hoosiers when head coach played by Gene Hackman, and when he initially introduces himself to the team, he says that classic line. I'm gonna probably learn just as much from you as you're going to learn from me.
Well, and that's the goal in life. Is, for many of us, is just keep learning.
Well, Ryan, you've been on like 3 of the podcasts before, just as a guest, and I think there was one of the episodes we talked about how you in my opinion, you kind of got into like DIYs and handyman stuff, and you said, well, not really. What I really try to be is a problem solver. So that's as I've gone on this journey learning about this media stuff and the technology, I've run into quite a few snags, and that's where another place where I'm really, really excited to utilize your ability to
Kurt, with Google, you can figure out almost anything, and with AI these days,
that's some crazy
you can
stuff.
Really start to figure out some stuff. So
yeah, we were messing around with that the other night.
We were
during the
Finals.
game 3, game 4 of the NBA Finals. Ryan, one reason the timing of this works out perfect for you is you work in a career. And I'm gonna steal a line from the late great Norm Macdonald. May he rest in peace. He had a bit talking about a certain career that you're in, where you are actually on a schedule similar to like a child, a kid, a teenager, where they're going to school and they get all these breaks throughout the year. Like right now they're on roughly a 10 week break, The field that you're in, allows you that same type of schedule, meaning that you're gonna have a little bit more free time over the next 10 weeks to.
Yeah, Kurt, I mean, you say free time, and we say 10 weeks off. People, I would say, suggest that it's 12 weeks off. It's no longer that. As we go back to school, usually about mid-August. I've already got a class that I need to finish by June 30th. So I've got about 3 weeks to do that class. So,
Yeah, you're always busy. You wear many hats.
You say 10 weeks off. I'm already going back to school, trying to continue my education, improving myself, and be able to take that back into the classroom. So,
right.
It's off, but they still require us to do some work. So,
well, and Ryan, another thing that you do is you coach. You're a longtime basketball coach. You also have a lot of experience coaching football. I know you're a real X's and O's kind of guy when it comes to football. We've watched a lot of football together over the years, and one thing I always like watching football with you because I love football. It's probably my favorite sport to watch. But when it comes down to like the real true X's and O's of football, I'm not very educated on it. Oh. I didn't grow up playing football.
You did not.
Just was always a fan, big fan. Probably,
But did you play football?
I did.
Yeah.
Played football. Ryan, that's one thing I'm really excited because about having you as a co-host is your ability to break down some X's and O's of football. And we're like 2 months only away from the first NFL preseason game.
Well, that would be
So
it comes up quick, doesn't it?
It does. So as we get closer to that, we'll start talking a lot of football, and really looking forward to your knowledge, not just of the NFL and college football, but the actual X's and O's of the game.
I've been pretty lucky. I started coaching middle school football the year I graduated high school.
Yeah.
So been in it a long time. I've been in and out of the coaching, all different levels. So it's always fun to be able to talk about that and share that. It's a passion. Coaching altogether is
right. Guys, it is kind of mid-afternoon on Monday. Tonight is game 5 of the NBA Finals. Not sipping on a cocktail just because it's time of day. Still got to give a shout out to my cuz Fuzz. Ryan, I think you're sipping on some coffee, aren't you?
It's my third cup.
Woo!
So I hate the taste of coffee, Kurt, but it's better than drinking on a Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Mountain Dew. So,
true.
In all honesty, I'm not sure what type of coffee we're drinking over here right now.
Just black. Straight black coffee.
Yeah,
yep.
Black dirt.
Maxwell House.
Black dirt, straight out the soil is what it tastes like. But it does have caffeine, and it'll keep me going until it's bedtime.
Nice. Well, hey, I got some strawberry lemonade flavored water. Ooh. It's water flavored as strawberry lemonade. So still got a really nice flavor to it. But Ryan, tonight, game 5, Nuggets are up 3-1. Me personally, I was predicting a sweep. But then when the Heat won game 2 at Denver, I was like, well, I'm still gonna ride with Denver. But the fact that the Heat actually won at Denver in game 2, I was like, I think the Heat are gonna get another one. After watching the last 2 games, I'm gonna backtrack on that. I think Nuggets are winning the whole deal tonight.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think in one of the previous podcasts, I predicted the Nuggets to make this the finals and probably win it. I think I'd have to go back and watch that exactly one. But no, I think I don't think the Heat can go into Denver tonight and win. They shot the ball extremely well in the one win. Mm-hmm. And I think the Nuggets were a little relaxed on defense that night. Didn't make a lot of extra effort. I think tonight they're in Denver. They're like, hey, let's close this thing out. Let's go ahead and win ourselves a championship. So Denver wins tonight pretty easily. Probably the Joker, MVP of the series. Been pretty phenomenal. Triple-double machine.
Yeah.
I think he just broke her got up in the top 3 guys of number of triple doubles he's averaged or had in this in the finals, or if not in the playoffs.
Well, and then he had broken Wilt Chamberlain's record of playoff triple doubles. Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, I hardly watched him play. I hardly ever watched the Denver Nuggets. But wow, I've been watching the NBA Finals, and here there throughout the playoffs, and that dude is incredible. He can do it all.
He can.
He's so fun to watch. He's like a new style of player that we really haven't seen too much of. I mean, I'm not going to say he's there's been other triple double threats, but not necessarily someone with his size.
No, and I don't think he's searching. I don't feel like if you watch him play, he's not searching for a triple double. He's just playing the game the right way. They run a ton of stuff through him, which obviously allows him to have that advantage in maybe the assist category. But I think scoring wise, I mean, I don't know what he's shooting from the field, but yeah, you watch some of his numbers there. He's 12 and 19, finishing with 30 points. That's effective.
Yeah, efficient.
Efficient, yes. And then obviously he is always an extra effort, tip, rebound type guy. So yeah, it's a pleasure to watch. It's actually good basketball, I think, from both sides. I just don't think the Heat can shoot it as well as they need to make it happen.
Yeah, and Ryan, we've coached a lot of basketball together. We talked basketball for countless hours. And one thing I know about you is there's a certain style of play that you like, and I think he really, you like players that can, high IQ, can pass the ball, move the ball, not ball stoppers, and not even necessarily shoot it well, but at least be in positions where they have shots they can make and can also, put their teammates in positions where they can get easy baskets.
Yeah,
with the way that they can move the ball.
Yeah, definitely. No, and I think, and again, it doesn't have to be a complete shot maker, just has the ability to take maybe the right shot. And I think the Nuggets seem to play that way where their guys all kind of feed off of like, hey, this is my shot, that's his shot. They take the right shots and they share it. They play hard. They push it up the floor. All the stuff that we like to kind of coach up when we've been coaching together. So it'll definitely be a pleasure to watch them play tonight, win or lose, because it is good basketball.
It is absolutely. Kind of not too common in the NBA today in this current era we're in, where you get to see some really good basketball, lots of movement, things like that, lots of movement off the ball. And as I mentioned, we are filming this on the day of the game. This is going to come out on Tuesday. So when this comes out, the game will have already been played. I'm thinking when it gets to the next episode, this series will be over. And
there's no doubt about that. It will be over.
Yeah.
I think the finals. Yeah. So Kurt, how about we move on? Talk about one of your shorts recently.
Okay.
Stick with the NBA.
Yeah. Okay.
Recent short you posted about Anthony Hardaway, kind of a player that had maybe a shorter lifespan because of injuries, cut short because of injuries. Obviously, probably would be. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's a Hall of Famer now. He did probably have like a 9 or 10 year career, right?
Well, I think he still maybe kind of had a normal length of a career.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how you define normal, but definitely never reached probably his potential due to injuries. But man, was he smooth.
He was smooth. He was very smooth. I thought as I watched that, I tried to think of some other NBA guys that maybe their careers were adjusted or maybe cut short because of injuries.
Okay.
Obviously, I think the number one in our area in Michigan is Grant Hill.
Oh, yeah.
And I, as I was preparing for this podcast, I thought, Grant Hill was, in my mind, probably a better all-around player number-wise than Penny.
Yeah.
But I would think Penny was a little bit more of a showman, had a little more pizzazz to his game. But I thought Grant Hill, if he would have stayed healthy, because I think his career is really cut short with his injuries. but he was almost a triple-double machine there for a couple of years with the Pistons. So that's probably my number one guy that I would have liked to see him stay healthy and still have a amazing career.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think if Grant Hill didn't have any issues with injuries, I think we could be talking about him as a top 5 player all time. Honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, he would be in that discussion.
He would have, and he would have had to win a championship in there somewhere.
Right.
Which I don't think he did ever.
I don't think he did.
Even later in his career, trying to lock on somewhere, I don't think he got one. But no, I would agree because he was fun to watch. He, again, very much like a joker. Yeah. Just made everyone around him better, but was still a dominant player in his own right. So, anybody else you can think of?
Well, and just with Penny too, I don't think I would I don't think he would have ended up, I don't think you could have ended up making an argument for him to be a top 5 player. But I think he could have been, had he not gotten injured, I think you can make a legitimate argument for him being a top 25 all-time player. He was that good.
Oh no, I think imagine if he would have been able to stay with Shaq for a couple extra years and win a couple championships, he'd probably have a different. People would probably talk about him in a little different light as well, because I don't think he ever won a championship.
No.
And again, once you win one of those, it just puts you in a different category in terms of people talking about your career.
No, for sure. And you asked about other guys. I mean, one that immediately pops into my head is Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
He legitimately, maybe we would be talking about him as a top 10 player all time, top 15.
Well, he's got an MVP under his belt, right?
Yeah, he sure does.
I think I definitely would put him, if he would have stayed healthy and playing like that, he probably would have been in the top 10, top 5 type category, especially.
Yeah. So definitely Derrick Rose. I mean, we're Zion Williamson. Obviously, he still has a chance to overcome these injuries, but he's done.
Yeah, probably been a little bit limited because of injuries. Tough to tell where he's going to be and finish at. How about someone like Greg Oden, who never really got going?
Yeah, you're right.
Never even had the chance really because he got injured right away and never really recovered.
And when you say Greg Oden, another one, player that pops into my head when you say Greg Oden was Kwame Brown. But I don't think I would necessarily say that about Kwame Brown because I think there was some hesitations on him. I think everyone was on board like Greg Oden is going to be a beast.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think people were saying that about Kwame Brown.
Yeah, no, I don't think they. I think.
In fact, I don't even know if Kwame Brown even was ever really limited by injury. I think he was just a flat out bust.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think he was probably more. Never lived up to the expectations. Again, a high schooler coming into the league. Tough to follow up some of the guys he followed in that realm.
Right.
All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more of the Attack the Rack podcast. And welcome back to the Attack the Rack podcast. Real Estate Ryan has been in real estate for over 20 years and can help you with all your real estate needs. Realtor Ryan has helped me in my journey in learning about real estate, and he can do the same for you, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just learn more about real estate in general. Ring Realtor Ryan.
Yeah, you bring that up. Something like Kwame wasn't, but Greg Oden.
Yeah.
How many? But you think about big guys that Portland. I think Portland drafted Greg Oden, right?
Yeah.
I think about Sam Bowie.
Sam Bowie.
I think
he was someone that was really limited with injuries.
He was. Yes, he was. And same. You think about like Ralph Sampson, Bill Walton.
Yeah.
Some of these old timers feels like obviously those bigger guys seem to have that struggle maybe with the game. Their bodies breaking down a lot sooner, a lot earlier than they would have liked.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of Bill Walton, have you been watching, or did you watch any of the new ESPN 30 for 30 on Bill Walton?
No, I have not.
I haven't either. I was wondering if you had watched it and could shed some light. But let's make a deal. We're going to watch that between now, and
Okay. Yeah.
next episode we can.
Can you easily find that online?
Yeah, it's on ESPN.
Yeah, we can make that deal.
Yeah.
We'll cover that next time.
Yeah, so that'll be something to come back for, Attack the Rack fans. We're going to talk about that
Especially
next
if you're a
time.
Bill Walton fan.
Yeah, which...
Who is?
I mean, here's the thing. The dude, like, is... I mean, I think you either like him or you hate him.
Yeah.
I guess I just find him incredibly entertaining.
Yeah.
Regardless of, like, if I, like, am taking in what he's saying or agreeing with what he's saying, just the words that come out of that guy's mouth to me it's just entertainment.
Well, I think you just never know what he's going to come out, what he's going to say, and then how do you translate that into basketball if he is announcing it at the college level? Like you're kind of just caught off guard. I would say growing up, I could not stand him because I was more basketball. Like I wanted to kind of have more ideas of what was going on basketball wise.
Okay.
I think as I've grown older, he's now like it's almost like comedic relief. Like, hey, here's a great basketball game, and then you got Bill Walton talking about probably something inappropriate or something that he's trying to transpire into, or the story is turned into something else, and it's not even related to the game that's taking place.
Yeah,
it is probably a love-hate type of relationship with him.
Yeah, and also he has this ability to make these extreme, statements. Shout out to a good friend of mine, Peter Hunsberger, who's been on the podcast a few times, and when we get closer to football season, we'll have him on as a guest as well. But him and I, a couple times we were watching, years ago, NBA with Bill Walton on the call, and a couple things that I remember him saying was something about Mark Jackson. I think it was Mark Jackson is the most the most something point guard of our generation. Like, no offense to Mark Jackson, but I don't think he was the most of anything. But one that I can remember to a T, obviously his son, Luke Walton. He said, and Peter Hunsberger can back me up on this because we were watching this game together. This is when we were watching an NBA game. This is when Luke was still playing at University of Arizona.
Okay.
And he made this statement. It was, Luke Walton is the most influential player. Again, use the our generation line again. Luke Walton is the most influential player of our generation.
Well, I'm not sure I can agree with that statement. Interesting. Again, but that's Bill Walton.
Yeah.
Taking it to another level over most of our heads, probably, with what he meant by that. I was going to add something about Mark Jackson. I think might be one of the most underrated coaches and analysts.
Oh, hey.
And I don't know if he gets enough respect in those two areas. I think he was a solid player, great point guard.
Yeah.
Couldn't really shoot the ball extremely well. But I think as a coach and as an analyst, he's actually someone I enjoy watching coach when he was a head coach, and can listen to him talk about basketball because he does kind of give you that inside look at things of the mind that goes on for an NBA player.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I think let's start with his days as a player. You mentioned that he couldn't shoot. Well, back in his era, a point guard, that wasn't necessarily their role.
Yeah, no.
They were a facilitator, a distributor, obviously, and he was the definition of what a point guard was in that era.
Yeah.
And as far as a coach, phenomenal. I don't know what happened there, why he got let go.
Could never get over the hump, maybe in Golden State there a little bit, and then obviously.
Yeah, but when he took over the Warriors, they were nothing, and he got them. Right up there quickly too. Wow, it's what a cutthroat business.
It is something. Yeah, no. Mark Jackson, shout out.
Yeah, man, that just made me think of another point guard similar to him that was just like the true definition of a point guard of that era, and that was Rod Strickland.
Oh yeah. Could probably score it a little better.
Yeah,
maybe
he could.
Yeah, wanted to score it a little more, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, Kurt, to get off talking about the NBA, though, something we didn't talk about, maybe I'll get your opinion.
Sure.
What do you think about this whole PGA Live combination going on?
I'll be honest, not a huge golf guy.
No.
which I'm not gonna get too far into this, but we do have another talent personality joining Get to Two Media, and this gentleman is a little bit more knowledgeable in golf and live. He's a live guy. Here's the thing, Ryan. With the live situation, I think there's some, interesting politics, being that it's Saudi Arabia money, and I don't know too much about that. I don't really get into that too much.
Yeah, I couldn't answer any of those questions.
Whether it's moral or immoral, so I can't really speak on that. Okay. But let's say it's not. Let's say it's all good. For someone to have issues with somebody being offered an amount of money and accepting that money, I don't feel like they should be bashed for that. Now, if this is some kind of immoral money, blood money, or something like that, then maybe it's a little different. Maybe that's the case.
I'd say throw out that whole idea behind it. What would you say if you're Rory McIlroy,
right,
who turned down, and maybe he didn't turn down money, supposedly, I don't think he was ever offered it, but some of those golfers did turn down money to hopefully stay loyal to the PGA, and now I think to try to have those relationships with guys that did take it, I think it'll be interesting to see how the PGA comes out of this, in the sense that those are tough relationships where now people are you change their fortunes forever. Right. With some of the money they accepted. Yeah. And some guys turned down money to kind of stay loyal and hopefully be rewarded later on. Right. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out in the combination of the two golf leagues. And
hey, that's the decision that Rory made. Again, I don't think it's fair to hate on somebody for being offered a contract and accepting the contract. And why can't there be two different entities? Why does it only have to be PGA? Now, as a fan, it's way cooler if there's one, right? Yeah. All the best golfers involved in one league or one entity. Yeah. For a fan, that's awesome. I love that, but it shouldn't have to be that way.
No, I don't know.
It's like.
But in reality, that's what we have, right? Especially here. Yeah. You've got the NBA, you've got the NFL, you've got NHL. Yeah. I think I don't know if there was a problem with having the two leagues, in the sense that obviously as the fans, you then had to maybe try to figure out which, you weren't watching the best golfers every weekend play. You were watching a combination of these, some of the best were playing here, some of the best were playing there. So I think probably in the growth of the game, it's probably still good that they combined, because when I turn on a weekend, I want to see the top golfers competing against each other, whether they're playing for LIV or whether they're playing for the PGA. Give me the best guys. That's going to make the best event.
Oh, 100%. And that's like what I was saying. Like, from a fan's perspective, we want that. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think it's fair to say that there can only be one. No. Again, from a fan's perspective, of course, that happened with the NBA. There was also the ABA. Yeah. That happened with the NFL. There was also the USFL. Yeah. And these entities were just like LIV. They were getting some really great players to be a part of it. And then what ended up happening is they merged, just like... Yeah,
tough to sustain that if you don't have the higher number of the better players, right?
Yeah. So from a fan's perspective, having the two combine, obviously big win for the fans.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, is it just going to still be called the PGA Tour, or is it?
I couldn't tell you. Yeah. I'm going to tune in when it's the four major events. I'll tune into those four. Usually on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I could care less if it's called PGA or LIV or whatever.
Kind of reminds me. I can't remember. Did you were you a fan of the show The Office?
I've become a better fan
Okay.
because my daughter is a huge fan. She's like watched every episode like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I don't know what it is. But I probably couldn't I probably can't quote something from it exactly.
Well, it just this thought just popped in my head. It reminds me of, I don't know if you remember there's a section of the series when Michael Scott left Dunder Mifflin and started the Michael Scott paper company.
Paper company, yeah.
And just started stealing clients from Dunder Mifflin. And just offering these incredible rates that were not sustainable. So they were going to go out of business, and but still it was affecting Dunder Mifflin because these clients are leaving Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're trying to bring them back together, and they're negotiating, and Michael Scott was like, hey, if we can't agree on how to merge this back together, I'll just start another paper company. And when that one fails, I'll start another one and another one.
He knew how to get his money. He wanted his payday.
Uh-huh.
Somehow he probably ended up on the raw end of the deal. But
and they all merged back together, and everything was great. But
well, the way the story goes, I'm guessing he didn't do very well in the end.
Yeah. And he's a very unique guy.
He is. He was. Great character. Great character.
All right, Ryan. Well, hey, thanks again for joining up with us now.
No.
Again, welcome to Get to Two Media. Welcome to the Attack the Rack podcast. Looking forward to having you as a co-host, and looking forward to using you as a problem solver for a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Well, Kurt, I got plenty of time this summer to help you out. So
Yeah,
I'm around if you need me.
All right, and enjoy the game tonight. I would say enjoy the game to you guys watching, but the game will already be over by the time you watch it.
We'll crown the Nuggets.
Yeah,
world champions.
Yep. So, all right, guys, we will see you next Tuesday on the next episode of the Attack the Rack podcast. Again, I am Kurt Van Hecken with my co-host
Ryan Klinger.
All right, you guys have a great day.
Please subscribe to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you are updated every time we post. Also, please like, comment, and share.